Alright, what's up you guys? This is a re-upload of the 2004 WWE Pay-Per-View DVD Collection. So let's get right into it here. First up we have Royal Rumble 2004. This was obviously won by Chris Benoit. And it's kind of the Rumble that gets overshadowed, unfortunately. But you have John Cena on here. Cool cover. You have Brock Lesnar versus Hardcore Holly. You had Eddie versus Chavo. You had Rey Mysterio and Jamie Noble. Dudley Boys versus Evolution in a tables match. And then you had Triple H versus Shawn Michaels in a last man standing match. It's actually a very good match. And you have your insert. This is a good year for inserts. And then the Royal Rumble match, you actually get the entrant numbers and everything for Raw and SmackDown. Overall, great pay-per-view. Here we have No Way Out 2004. Obviously, this is when Eddie Guerrero won the WWE title against Brock Lesnar. You also had Kurt Angle, John Cena, and Big Show. You had Rey Mysterio versus Chavo Guerrero, Hardcore Holly and Rhino, 6-man tag match with the Cruiserweights. And then you open it up. Kind of a very generic insert, but still cool. Still always good to get an insert. And then right here we have WrestleMania 20. This is the 3-disc edition. Very cool DVD, very nice packaging. I've never seen something like it since then, so it's definitely very cool. And actually you get a documentary on here about WrestleMania 19, which is my favorite WrestleMania, so that's a plus. And there you go, you have your match listing. And it's really cool, they actually give you like a little spot for your insert. It's very nice. And in the back here you have a timeline, which is really cool as well, of the first 20 events. Well, first 19 events technically. But, you know, obviously you had Kane versus The Undertaker, Deadman coming back. You had Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle in a great match. You had your fantastic triple threat match. Probably my favorite triple threat match of all time. Chris Benoit, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. John Cena, Big Show, tag team matches. Chris Jericho. Overall, it's a great show. Very kind of overlooked WrestleMania now because of Chris Benoit. And a little segue, we have Backlash 2004. You have Chris Benoit there on the cover. Very nice cover. And you have Edge versus Kane, Shelton Benjamin and Ric Flair, Tajiri and Jonathan Coachman, Randy Orton and Cactus Jack in a great hardcore match, obviously very famous match. Chris Jericho versus Christian and Trish Stratus. And then we have Chris Benoit, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels again. And what people say is an even better triple threat match, I don't think so, but it's definitely very close. Definitely a very good triple threat match. Alright, next up we have Judgment Day. Very cool cover with Taker on here. This event's really only known for one thing, and that's the botched blade job. Eddie Guerrero hit an artery, obviously, and lost a ton of blood in his match against JBL. We had Undertaker versus Booker T, John Cena, and Rene Dupree. You have Scotty 2 Hotty versus Mordecai, which is actually Kevin Thorne. Before he was Kevin Thorne, he was Mordecai. And the character was supposed to be huge and was supposed to go above the clouds and beyond. Obviously that didn't happen though. Next up we have Bad Blood. Kind of a strange cover. I don't know why we have a smiling Shawn Michaels. And I think we could have had a more badass cover. Obviously they had their Hell in a Cell match, which I like the Hell in a Cell match. A lot of people don't because they said it went on too long. It has great drama and it's a great match. You had Chris Benoit and Kane for the World Heavyweight title, Randy Orton and Shelton Benjamin, Eugene versus Coach. You had a Fatal 4-Way match. There's your insert, very nice. Overall, it's not a bad pay-per-view at all. Alright, next up we have Vengeance 2004 with Randy Orton on the cover here. Very cool cover. And then he had Chris Jericho and Batista, Matt Hardy versus Kane. Their little rivalry they had. Randy Orton versus Edge in a great Intercontinental title match. And then we had Chris Benoit versus Triple H. Open it up here. Kind of a strange insert, but you do get a lot of extras there. So there you go. Next up we have the Great American Bash. This is not the banned Walmart edition. But, well, this is more the banned edition. But the Walmart version, obviously, is just a closer up version of the cover with Tori Wilson. This is an awful pay-per-view. The only good thing about this is Eddie Guerrero versus JBL in a good Texas Bull Rope match. You also had Rey Mysterio versus Chavo. That's always good. You had a fatal 4-way elimination for the U.S. title match. I love elimination matches. That's just me personally. We had Undertaker versus the Dudley Boys in a concrete crypt match. Oh, so much fun, right? So there's your insert and everything. I think this is Mordecai's final appearance, too, against Hardcore Holly. Alright, SummerSlam 2004. This is the original cover artwork. I also do have a copy of the newer artwork that was edited, Chris Benoit out. But we had Triple H versus Eugene, Matt Hardy versus Kane, Booker T and John Cena, Edge, Batista, and Chris Jericho for the IC title. We have a 6-man tag match. JBL versus The Undertaker for the WWE title. And then Chris Benoit versus Randy Orton, where obviously he became the youngest world champion. And there's your insert artwork. Next up, Unforgiven. I like this cover a lot. I think it's pretty cool. This is a Raw pay-per-view, obviously. You had Shawn Michaels versus Kane, Trish Stratus and Victoria. You had Chris Benoit and William Regal versus Batista and Ric Flair. Christian versus Chris Jericho in a ladder match. And then Randy Orton versus Triple H in a World Heavyweight title match. Very unique insert there. And then there's more of your artwork for your disc. Up next, we have No Mercy 2004. We have JBL on the cover. I always like this cover. I'm not the biggest JBL fan, but I still think it's a cool cover. You have the dollar bill symbol on the back. The Illuminati triangle with the eye in the middle. But you have Eddie Guerrero versus Luther Reigns. That happened. Spike Dudley versus Nunzio. That also happened. You have a 6-person tag match. You have your tag team titles. Booker T and John Cena, Paul London and Billy Kidman, Big Show versus Kurt Angle, and then JBL versus The Undertaker in a last ride match for the WWE title. And I bought this off of eBay, and the asshole that sold this to me highlighted all the winners. Look at that. Why would you do that? I don't know if he just did it for himself, but just watch the pay-per-view and memorize the winners. Whatever. Here we have Taboo Tuesday, 2004. I never really liked this cover. I think it's kind of lazy and generic, just having the world title on a monitor. But it is what it is. We have Le Resistance versus Edge and Chris Benoit. You have Christy versus Carmella, a different Carmella. Chris Jericho versus Shelton Benjamin, Kane and Gene Snitsky, Randy Orton and Ric Flair in a steel cage match, Eugene versus Eric Bischoff, and then Triple H versus Shawn Michaels for the world title. There's your disc art and your insert. Very cool. Kind of very generic stuff here, but it's Taboo Tuesday. What do you expect? And I need a new copy. I got this copy on eBay. not knowing it was in this bad a shape. I mean, I could probably just switch it out for a different case. I have some blank cases I have just in case I have to switch them out. Alright, Survivor Series 2004. I'm in the group that likes this cover. I think it's very unique. Undertaker kind of looks constipated or confused, but it is what it is. It has a comic book feel to it. I like it. What I don't like about this pay-per-view is they had the 4-on-4 Survivor Series matches. I like 5-on-5. But you had 2 of those. Fatal 4-way for the Cruiserweight title. Enjoyed that match. Shelton Benjamin and Christian. Trish Stratus versus Lita. And then JBL versus Booker T for the WWE title. Very cool artwork. Very cool insert. I like this pay-per-view. I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people say it's a weaker Survivor Series, but it is what it is. And finally, we have Armageddon. We have the Big Show stepping on you, branding you with his boot. And very cool back here. I really like that. But we have Charlie Haas as a special guest referee with Miss Jackie and Dawn Marie. The Dixie Dogfight with Mike Mizanin. It's great to see that, right? Spike Dudley and Funaki. Tag team titles. Handicap match. We have a street fight for the U.S. title. John Cena versus Jesus. And then a fatal 4-way for the WWE title. JBL, Undertaker, Eddie Guerrero, and Booker T. So an average, very average pay-per-view. What's behind here? I think it's the RVD. Yeah, one of a kind. Yep. Alright, so there you have that. Very nice insert, though. So, that does it for the yearly pay-per-views. I did 2003 to 2017, or 16. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.